Hi, welcome back. And today we're going to be working in the garden. We're going to be doing all kinds of things in the garden. But we're going to start with potting the plant. I just got this. I got it real cheap. I got it reduced for quick sale. Ta-da! $7. Plus our store was having a sale on those. Now, it's got some soil in here. We're going to just leave that. And then we're going to amend it with some other organic soil. Now, one thing you need to know, whether you're doing potted plants or gardens in the ground, and we're going to be planting some seed in just a minute. One thing you need to know is, if you want to be successful and you want them to pop up, don't use that Miracle-Gro junk. That's not good for you. This is my personal mix right here, and it works like a charm. This is plain old table sugar. Just your plain old cheap, bag of sugar. And you want equal parts of sugar and bone meal. This is bone meal right here. All right. Now, bone meal adds the calcium, and just like your bones in your body, plants need the calcium to build strong root systems and really strong stalks so they can hold the fruit or the flowers, whatever. But just like in your body, and women, if you're taking a calcium supplement, this is something you need to know. You can take all the calcium in the world you want to, but it ain't going to do no good. It ain't going to do no good unless you take magnesium. So we're going to do just a cup of that, mix it into the soil. You always kind of want to mix it in. You don't want to do a direct contact because you don't want to burn the roots. All right? So that's our calcium. For our magnesium, plain old Epsom salts. And you just need a handful. Sprinkle that in. Your body cannot absorb, plants in your body are the same thing. They cannot absorb the calcium without the magnesium. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and dump it out. Just like that. You're not going to hurt it. Okay, see this root ball? It's all root bound already. So you're going to want to pull all this off. Just get rid of it. You're not hurting the plant at all. In fact, you're helping it. Throw that down. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. Then you want to gently open up all the roots on the side, or else it's just going to keep growing like this, root bound, and it'll never grow. You want it all opened up pretty. All right. Then kind of dig down a spot in the middle for it. Get it positioned the way you want it positioned. I want it going this way because the flowers are pushing out toward the street. All right, and you just kind of work it in there. Get it worked in good. Get it worked in good, and then fill it in with the remainder of your soil. Try not to get too much on the foliage if you can avoid it. It's not going to hurt it, but it doesn't help it either. We do this in the garden. We do this everywhere we plant. It's the only way you're going to get a good planting. There you go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to deadhead all the old dead blooms on it. Oh, say hi, Frank. That's my husband, Frank. You met him at the beach. So now we're going to move to the garden. I lost something already. Oh, nope, there it is. Okay, so now we're going to move to the garden. You can get a quick little look. I know we need to mow, but we have been in a remodel. It's my rosemary bush. Rosemary is awesome. Just ignore it and leave it alone, and it'll just go crazy. As you can tell, we've been in a state of remodeling on the front. This is where we're at now, and that ends the finish end. All new siding, all new windows, all new paint job, all new skirting, all new underpinning. I know. Okay, so we've got a lot to do. This is the broccoli that needs to be pulled and thrown in compost into the chickens. This is cabbage that's going to be going too. This is cucumbers that didn't go up. Oop, that haven't come up yet. So we're going to just replant some more of those. Peach trees, squash is blooming, tomatoes as far as the eye can see, garlic on the end, and peppers on the end. But what we need to do is we need to work on the tomatoes. Now, you can have pretty tomato plants, or you can have a lot of tomatoes. Which do you want? I want the tomatoes. So, we're just going to pick one. We'll just start here. Alright, if you look down here, you can see there is a new growth right here. Well, what we want to do is this sucker leaf that'll never do anything, you just want to drop it off. And you got to do this all summer long. And it goes really fast. But what this does is it encourages the fruit to make. And the plant will get bigger. These are the old cages. And we're replacing them with new cages that my husband's been making me. These are the new cages. These are what the new cages look like. And as this summer goes on, and you'll be out here with me more, these will grow all the way to the top of the cages. And these cages are 10 feet tall, and they will be loaded with tomatoes. I know. That's what we do. And we do it very well. So you just get in there, get those suckers off. Get those suckers off of there. And you want to make sure that you have nothing near the bottom of the plant. Nothing. You want to keep it as clean as possible, as high as possible. The reason is that's where you're going to get your disease and stuff is going to come from there. And look, baby maters right there. See them? If you go to South or Central America, which is where tomatoes came from originally, you will find tomatoes grow wild like grapevines do here in all the trees. That's because they are a vine. So you want to let them do their thing the right way. Alright, so you get the idea on how to trim tomatoes. We'll do a few more. I got to do all these, but you don't have to watch me do chores all day. When I'm done with the tomatoes, I'm going to pick up all the clippings. They don't stay in the yard or in the garden because they're a nightshade. Nightshade is poisonous. It's toxic. And so you don't want that to leach into your soil. They don't go into compost either. But while we're walking around and looking at stuff, these are our potatoes. Now, some of these need to be taken care of. These, by the way, are planted directly in leaves. And as your potatoes are growing, you don't have to buy those expensive seed potatoes. Go buy a 5-pound bag of red potatoes or Yukon Golds in the grocery store, and you don't have to cut them, you don't have to do anything. Let them sit out until they start to sprout eyes, and then take them and bury them in leaves. And as they grow, you just keep burying them up. You want them to keep getting buried. The reason for that is, on a potato, the potatoes don't grow in the ground. The potatoes grow on the vine. So the deeper you bury them, the more potatoes you're going to get. And when they get up about that high off the ground, like these are, you stack more leaves on them. These are buried, not even in soil. These are all planted in just leaves. Just leaves. That's it. Just mulch. That's it. Here's a wolf spider. And I don't have my garden shoes on, which makes me nervous because these leaves are also a perfect home for copperheads. And they blend right in. And that's something we have to watch. And you want to just keep it covered up to the very top leaves. Just cover it up. It's okay, won't hurt it, won't do nothing. But you got to keep them covered up. If you don't, you won't have good potatoes. And you're going to keep doing this till they bloom. And then when they bloom, guess what? You're done with potatoes. Oh, look at that. There's one that was completely covered up. They just sprout up out of nowhere. Now, my grandson, Lino, he and Papa planted these while I was working one day. So these are Lino's potatoes. And these are the red potatoes, new potatoes, as they're called. I don't know why they're called that, but that's what they're called. Probably some guy named New is the one that did that. And you're going to go around and just keep bundling them up, bundling them up. These are peppers that look weak. And I can tell you why they look like this. These right here. These look weak because they did not get magnesium with them. These peppers did. And look, we already have peppers starting. Isn't that pretty? Already got peppers going. So these are going to need to be fed. We're going to need to feed those up a little bit. Get something going on with them. They look very weak. This is garlic. You want to see garlic? That is going to be a foot of garlic. This is elephant garlic, those great big feet. And these, again, you don't have to do anything special with garlic. In October, late September, early October, go to the grocery store, buy one of those $4 heads of garlic, separate the cloves, and just barely stick them in the ground. And everywhere you stick one in the ground, that's where you're going to get a whole new thing of like 10 cloves in each one of these heads. And then the greens can also be eaten. They're good for you too. Now this one is starting to bud. These are going to be flower spikes. So, you want to get rid of those. You don't want flowers. Because once it flowers, then it's done. Alright? I'll come back and pick those up because they're good for cooking. Oh, it smells so good. If you love garlic, it smells so good. Alright, so now let's venture this away. Venture, venture, venture.